Welcome back to Tricks Fix. Today I'll be teaching you Masterscoot. Then I'll be showing you a progression of somebody else's Masterscoot double cork. Let's start from scratch. Regular scoot versus Masterscoot. Okay, so for scoot versus Masterscoot, the setup is really based on chest positioning and foot positioning. So in regular scoot, okay, you're gonna go like this, and your left arm's gonna go down. Notice this foot, the lunging foot, is faced forward, but like 45 degrees away. In Masterscoot, when you pull it back, it's gonna be facing backwards or 45 degrees off of backwards, going this direction. And the forwards versus backwards takeoff stance in Scoot versus Masterscoot is actually the reason for the huge difference in power. That's why Masterscoot is significantly more powerful than regular Scoot. All right, the key points that make up regular Scoot are the transfer from the left leg to the right leg, and then the right leg to the left arm. And the right hand does not touch, but you still square up at the end as if it would. Now let's take a look at Masterscoot setup in the beginning versus the Scoot setup in the beginning. So you're going to go into your regular Scoot setup, left to right, back it up so those toes are facing a 45 degrees back, and then you're going to take off from there so that it's a lot more like a back handspring, shooting that left leg through. Left hand can touch super early, right hand can touch very late because the later it touches, the more square you become. Jumping that far onto your hands can be a little scary at first, so let's go through some prereqs that will help you understand the motion a bit better. First prereq is going to be cartwheel. Super easy. Take off the left foot, land on the right leg. The reason this is relevant is because then you can turn that into master swipe. So that is a cartwheel off the outside leg. And the reason that's called master swipe is because it's actually Masterscoot swipe. So now you turn that, and then instead of landing on the right leg, you land on the left leg, and now you're doing a Masterscoot. There's going to be some small tweaks to make it more comfortable so that it actually works for the upcoming trick that comes after it, but that is what it is. So just a cartwheel off the outside leg, and then switch feet instead of landing on the normal cartwheel landing leg. Now let's make your existing Masterscoot more comfortable and more powerful. Doing regular scoot is really easy because you start in a comfortable lunge position, but Masterscoot is really hard to start in that back position. So let's go through some ways that we can practice our Masterscoot instead of just hopping on that right leg. So hook is one of those ways. I find that the shittier the hook is, the better the Masterscoot is, because then you focus on your direction of motion and being square at the end instead of how good the hook looks. I prefer spin step because then I can really focus on that. I don't need to do the hook. I obviously don't combo the spin step, but it's really good for practicing individual moves. Take a look at the double cork there. Much better than the two before it. And people think that if they do a fat hook before their Masterscoot, that their Masterscoot's going to be more powerful. But the Masterscoot does not speed up until right here. Right when my hands are touching and I almost put my left foot down, that's when I speed up. Everything else before it can be done really slow and casually. Another awesome way to get into that skewed hyper position is from cartwheel. Palm kick is a variation of cartwheel, so that will work as well. When I first started tricking, gainer was actually my preferred way to get into my Masterscoot. That's actually how I landed my first double cork, was scoot, gainer, Masterscoot, double cork. And remember, just be casual and fluid about the setup. Now that you can Masterscoot, let's bring it to the next level. One thing in tricking you might not know is all setups are the exact same at the end. So let's compare Eric's TDR to my Masterscoot. He prefers TDR, I prefer Masterscoot. So let's take a look and find the similarities between the two so that hopefully you guys can understand what makes them powerful, because they don't become powerful until the end of the trick. All right, let's take a look. So here's Eric's TDR. The setup right now is irrelevant, but right here. He squares up, gets the right knee up, and goes straight up. That's a block. Similar to how in gymnastics they do round off, punch, double back. The same block is being hit right here. See the angle of my base leg. Let's look at that a little bit slower here. So, right here, squares up. You can imagine that right hand touching like in Masterscoot. He could be doing Masterscoot right now. You wouldn't even be able to tell the difference. Okay, shoulder positioning, knee up, hips rise up because of the initial block and that shin on the bottom. Let's look at that shin on the bottom again. So look at the angle that that's hitting. Knee goes up, chest facing the floor still. Then I go up. Once I feel myself start to rise, I can look up at the wall and then start my flip. Hope that wasn't too quick. I'll go over it again in the progression video. Let's look at it in regular motion now. The goal with all setups in tricking is to get a large amount of air time so that you can replicate the trick you're doing on tramp onto the floor, because once you're in the air, the tricks are the same. Now for next progression video, I'm just going to throw tips at him just like I did at the session that slowly improved his Masterscoot. Right away, I know that one thing that Nick tends to do is lean back really early out of swing moves. So he's going to be doing hook Masterscoot here. Hook, Masterscoot. Okay, big thing I noticed right away, he goes around the side early when going out of his hyper into his Masterscoot instead of going over the top. So he really needs to stretch the non-base arm. So you see here, hook, he puts his right arm down and reaches. That one was better. He reached that left arm because he twists to the right. So he reached that left arm nice and high over the top. That's going to help him get it much, much better. So he's got to get that over the top motion. The pivot that he's doing when he hops on his non-hook kick leg looks really, really good. That is readjusting so that his Masterscoot starts from basically standing. So let's take a look at that again. Hook, reposition. That one was 2 over the side. His swing is getting higher, though, into his double cork, which is why he's getting closer. So his set and block is much better, but he really needs to make that Masterscoot go over the top so that it flips his double cork. By going over the side, it really makes him have a lot of twist, but not a lot of flip. There we go. That one was, look at that one, scrub through it. It was much, much better. Okay, better angle here. Good. See how his hook kick leg did not touch as it went around. That is one big thing that needs to happen. Here he's going to be doing palm kick Masterscoot. Watch his non-hyper leg not touch the floor. So he's going to go palm kick, land in hyper. Then he's going to swoop right through. There we go. Everything lined up. So now go ahead and compare those. See the differences, the angles, and everything. Hopefully you come to the same conclusions that I came to, and figure out the same breakdowns that I showed you in the beginning of this video of my Masterscoot. Make sure to like and subscribe. Hopefully this helps you guys with your Masterscoots, and follow me on Instagram at Crispy Tricks. Comment questions or tricks you need help with for next week.